So this is the question that everyone wants to know, even if it's just a little bit deep down, right? And girls too, on the same side. How do I attract the perfect girl partner? Well, there's two ways here, right? Society tells us, just like society tells us to do anything like this, no one's gonna give it to you. No one's gonna hand it to you. You gotta go out and do it. You gotta go make it happen. You gotta go and learn how to be charismatic. You gotta learn confidence. You gotta be an alpha male or whatever. You gotta be confident. You gotta learn it all. You gotta learn all this. You gotta dress good. Gotta get jacked. Gotta get the gains, man. You gotta make a bunch of money. You gotta go and get the girl. You gotta go out and learn all this crap, this game, and got to go meet him. You got to go do your approaches. You got to get on the dating apps. You just got to do it all. Got to make it happen. Got to go find her, right? Got to force this. We're in control. You're in total control. That's what society tells you, right? Now, how has that worked for you? How does that make you feel when you're told that? I mean, do you feel like that's the right answer? Does that make you feel stressed? Does it make you feel a little tense? Like, where does that tenseness come from? Where does that kind of stress and anxiety kind of come from? Trying to rewrite the script of a movie that's already been written, And I did that for my whole life, really. I mean, most of my life. Like, I could not be told anything else. I had to go and find it and make it happen, and that's what everyone does, right? Because we all have this. There's this part deep down inside of us that God put in us, the men and the girls. Like, you got to find that unity, right? It's the whole point. It's one of the whole points of being on this planet is to procreate, right? So of course that innate desire to go and find that's going to be out there. But man, it seemed to me that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find the right fit. Something always felt forced about it. Even when I had girlfriends or was dating women and stuff, it just felt forced. It didn't feel like I felt like if I had stopped putting on the show and the act and the game and putting forth all this effort, it was just going to drift away. And it did. And it always did. It usually did, right? It just seemed like no matter what happened, there was just something wasn't right. It's like trying to jam a puzzle piece into the wrong part of the puzzle. It's just you can break it, you can reshape the puzzle piece, but at the end of the day, like, it's not going to be a perfect fit. So that's one way. And a lot of times, I'd say most of the time, I would say you have to go through that. You have to do that. You got to go through that phase where you got to go and try to make it happen. And you got to make it happen and see how that works for you. And when you're there and when you're doing it, like, I'm not even saying don't do it. I'm just saying when you do it, just see how this is making you feel, how this process is making you feel, what it's doing to your confidence, your self-esteem, does it feel like you're just chasing a dopamine hit? Do you really feel like this is what you need to be doing? Most people aren't tuned to this subtlety at all, right? Now, some people are so engulfed and so unconscious in the matrix, right? Like, they're meant to just find a girl, and a girl's meant to find them, and they're meant to be happy, or I don't know if happy is the right word, but they're meant to be together and married, and that's it for as long as they are. For some people, it's forever. Some people, it's half a lifetime, and then they get divorced and wonder what went wrong, and I don't know, a lot of times it seems like the relationships like that on that unconscious level end as soon as the kids are gone and out of the house. You know, nowadays with the feminism and, you know, women are have their equal amounts of income in the workforce and they're making their own money, it just seems like it's gotten a whole lot harder, right? Because women don't need men anymore, right? So now all of this, there's this enormous amount of pressure on men to be outstandingly different. Like if you go on a dating app, all an attractive woman has to do is just post one's mirror picture and she's endless amounts of likes and can, you know, heck, he puts on a, you know, an attractive, you know, she looks all attractive and sexy and goes out to the bars. You can do whatever she wants, right? That's an illusion of options, though, right? Most of those guys, they don't want anything from the woman. They want to take from her. So it's more of just an ego validation boost, you know, than it is actually trying to find someone. A lot of women know that deep down. Now, I always got to check here. You know, I got to do my, once a video, I got to check to make sure that it's still on. So it just creates a lot of problems, you know, whereas men have to, God, man, just to be in the 1%, right? I mean, the amount that a man has to do to stand out, it's just exhausting. I mean, is it really worth playing? Is that game worth playing to you? And again, like, go and see for yourself. Like, go, and for me, I'd felt like it you know, I'd always say to myself, once I get this amount, once I get this experience, once I see this, I'll be happy, I'll understand, it'll be enough, and it never was. I always felt like I kind of had to look over my shoulder a bit. Like, if I make one mistake or something, they're gone. And I know girls feel the same way, right? You meet someone and, you know, it's, you know, they don't know it, but it's, you know, guys and girls, they don't know it, but they're like trying to put two, you know, ends of a magnet together the same side, and it's just no matter what, I can't, you know. It goes good for a while and then they drift away and all this. And why is that? Because it's forced. It's not meant to be. It's not, you're fighting the current. You know, you're still in the water, you're still swimming, but you're just exerting a million times more energy trying to go upstream than you are than just to go down the flow with the river. Now, what does going down the flow of the river mean? Okay, now this is when we get into a little bit more of a spiritual way to do this, right? Allowing life to work for you. Allowing the universe, grace, God, whatever you want to call it, just to flow, getting onto that flow, getting onto that, into that stream, if you will. And God, universe, grace, whatever is going to send you the girls that you need, right? That might come in the form of a lot of practice girls where you make a bunch of mistakes and you learn a lot of lessons about yourself and how, you know, what you need to do. And then you're going to attract the next girl and the next set of girls, and they're going to come into your life and it's going to end and it's fine, right? And then you just keep going along that cycle, and oh my God, now I met this one where it's like there's perfect unity and I didn't think it could get any better than this, and you get to experience what that's like, and then that ends and you go through the heartbreak and hopefully you heal from it. You know, some people stay stuck in that wound forever and they close their hearts up and they never meet anyone else again. And or if they do, it's just surface level. It's more of an exchange. Like, I'm here to provide you with money and this certain lifestyle, and the girl's here to provide me with some arm candy, female energy, and sex. And it's funny because the relationships that tend to work the best are the one in this little matrix are the ones where both people understand that. I could never do that. I don't know what it was. It just seemed, I just saw through the superficialness of it. It wasn't real. Now, if you keep going along this journey with semen retention, because what does semen retention do, right? Semen retention is the rocket fuel, right? It's the jet fuel to raising your consciousness and vibration. And when you raise up, right, when you evolve, you're going to attract women that are equally as evolved. You guys are going to be learning from each other, even if you think you're not. And it all culminates to you know, meeting those really high level girls where those superficial tendencies don't seem to matter so much. You guys are drinking from each other's spiritual cups and evolving and growing, and you're just not going to meet that. You can't find that. You can't find those perfectly tailor-made situations for you unless you're going with the universe's flow. And the cool part about that is that there's something that's really relaxed about it. Because you feel deep down like this just seems like the right fit for me right now. And however long that's going to last. Like, I've experienced both ends, and I tell you, like, I just can't even go back. Like, I just see through it so deeply now. But I had to go through both sides of that. Like, I had to see that. Like, I would hear someone talk about this stuff, like we're talking about now, and there would be something deep down that would be, man, something really makes me feel relaxed when I hear this, that I don't have to do anything. I can just let life send me what needs to be sent and surrender to it, and that's it. You know, no timeline. It might take a year, it might take 10 years, but I'm going to find the people that I'm supposed to find and be with the people I'm supposed to be with. Some people that's more than others. Like, it's not some people don't need to meet a lot of, some people need to just spend their whole lives waiting for the right moment, and then the girl shows up, and that's the only girl that you're ever with. For some people, they gotta go through just endless amounts of trying and forcing it and trying to do everything in their power to try to make it happen until they burn out, which that was me. That's me with everything. I'm that type of person. I've had to it's how it is for me with everything. I was a hard nut to crack, to surrender, I guess. To just let it be. But when I did, that was when it just kind of, I don't know, something relaxed. The girls I started to meet after that, are a lot fewer, for sure, right? But they all were great fits. And I got to, you experience what a relationship that actually builds you up feels like. Where you really click with someone. And you're not constantly worried and feeling stressed that they're going to leave you, or trying to game it and make it happen and trying to hold on to it really tightly, because like, this person's here for something deeper than what I'm offering on a surface level. So, that's how you attract, that is how you attract the perfect girl for you, right? You don't do anything. You just let life send you the girls that you need to send, that need to be sent to you, and go with that and enjoy it as you are, right? Most of them, all of them are serious lessons that you need to learn, because that's the deeper purpose of relationships. It's not just to indulge and to take from each other. It's to learn, right? Learn lessons from each other. But sometimes you just meet those ones, man, where it's like, wow, this is really nice. But it doesn't feel like this really intense, overwhelming desire and love and infatuation with an undercurrent of stress and anxiety about it. Like this high, it's almost like this fight or flight undercurrent all the time. It's very relaxed. It's calm. It's cooler. It's more stable, right? You realize that's how all relationships are meant to be, right? With all the people you meet, right? It's these false beliefs and mental models that we've acquired growing up, and with our karmic trays, our karmic dishes that we've been given to us, that these stressful, really tense and angsty relationships, they might feel really good because that's what we're conditioned to know, but that's not how it should be. And naturally, you just stop attracting those situations. And that's the lesson, right? Once you change up here, once you change your level of consciousness, once that evolves, you stop attracting those lower level situations. You just don't attract them. Like, it all starts with you, right? With your level of consciousness. I've said it before, semen retention is how you get there. That's the rocket fuel for all of this. You even feel it when you start doing semen retention in the beginning. You know, you're not succumbing to the, you know, you're not sedating yourself anymore. You're starting to, all of your, you know, all of the things that you suppress start to come up, right? That's what's so hard about semen retention, but you get to look at it, right? And you get to burn it off. That's, you know, when you feel that angstiness, that stress and all that, that's karma being burned for you to move to the next stage, for you to meet the right girls, all right? They're all the right girls for the moment that you needed them to be, but the high level ones, that's what I'm talking about. All right, have a great day.